Wow, this is amazing. Incredible photo. What a camera. What? Was that clickbait or is this really that good of a camera? Hello everyone, this is Ernesto with Aftershoot, and you guys might be thinking, why am I reviewing a camera that is about 2 years old? Well, here's the story. This is the Insta360 Ace Pro 2, and sometime last year, Insta360 came out with a grip that made the camera a little more handleable, if that's a word. Well, not too long ago, Insta360 launched the Explorer Grip Pro, which is different from the one last year, and then a lot of people started talking about it and praising it for being an amazing street photography camera and an amazing everyday carry camera. So I want to know if that's true or if we're just getting a lot of hyped up comments online. Now, before you guys bash me like, who is this guy to talk about this kind of cameras, let me just say a little something about myself. I used to be a GoPro ambassador. I was a GoPro ambassador for around 2 or 3 years, and I did travel a lot and I shot a lot of photography using my several GoPros because I had a lot of them. And I did use those photos to promote businesses and brands and whatever. So I do know a little something about the subject. Okay, so here's the thing. The original Explorer grip was just that, a cage, a grip, nothing else. It didn't change any functions of the camera. It just gave you a better grip experience, I guess. This grip actually does change the experience a little more than the previous one, but in reality, the camera is exactly the same. The functions, the resolution, the lens, everything inside the Ace Pro 2 is exactly the same as it's always been. So, does the grip do enough to change what the camera actually is? Or are we not getting the full information or picture here? Okay, so let's be real about the situation. If we're going to talk about a street photography camera combo, we gotta talk about the specs of the camera and the specs of the lens for that matter. So this is a 50 megapixel camera that can shoot RAW, which is amazing, but it is a very, very small sensor. So for me, that's not exactly great. Even though the camera does perform very well when the situation is like today, when there's a lot of sun and everything is shiny and colorful, and yeah, it does amazing. But as soon as you start losing some light and things start getting darker, you are going to see noise. Now, Insta360 has worked great with some AI features to bring the low light capacity to be better than before, probably even better than all of the other action cameras. But then again, this is still an action camera, so don't expect it to perform amazingly well in low light situations. When we're talking about the lens, this is a 13mm full frame equivalent lens, and it is a 2.6 aperture. So what does that mean? Well, because the sensor is so small, you should not expect to get very blurry backgrounds if that's something that you like. 13 millimeters on a full frame sensor camera is not exactly a focal length that you would use for street photography. It is actually a little too wide, which is actually very common within action cameras because you want to capture the whole situation, the action going on within the scene. So for street photography, that's a little too wide. Is the grip enough to change the user experience and the results you're getting because of the grip to make this an amazing street photography camera? I'm not sure about that. So why is the internet all of a sudden saying, wow, incredible, amazing, perfect, just get it? Here's the thing about YouTube. When the first review comes out, and the first reviewer is a famous photographer, famous videographer, filmmaker, influencer, whatever you want to call him, and this person, or he or she, doesn't matter, does a video, usually all the other reviews that follow kinda also follow the same trend. I'm not saying it's a bad camera by any means. I'm using the zoom, I'm trying to take photos with it, I'm having fun with it, but I wouldn't say that if I was to go out on a street photography kind of day, let's say around New York City or Madrid or whatever, that I would bring this camera and be confident that I would get amazing photos just using this camera. A grip does not change the results you can get, because I can get the same images just with the camera. The only difference is with the, I guess, user experience, but that doesn't make me a better street photographer. Okay, let's do a little positive comment here, because so far it feels like I'm bashing this camera, and I'm not. I'm just saying it's not what we're being told it is. But I do really like the grip because it gives it an extra battery juice. This grip has an integrated 2100 milliamp battery, which kind of more than doubles the battery life of your camera. I enjoy the trigger, the shutter button. It's interesting. Feels a little flimsy. I like it, but I also feel, I'm not too sure about it. I'm not too confident about it. It feels like a camera. And I like the fact that they've included some Leica colors or color schemes here, which is Insta360's take on what would be Fuji recipes or Lumix LUTs. Let me show you a little bit more about that. Okay, so with this dial, I can dial through different, I would say, colors the camera has. Leica colors, that is, because this lens is made in collaboration with Leica. Not just that, the whole technology behind the colors of the camera is. You can still get raw images from the camera, but if you want to shoot straight out of camera JPEGs, you can actually access these colors here. And let me show you right here. I got standard, which is the one I have right now. I got vivid, like a natural, like a vivid. This is like a eternal, like a black and white high contrast, retro neon, which is kind of weird, very yellowish. Vintage vacation. We got NC film, NC2 film, CC film, CC2 film, warm film, and vintage, urban, and orange and teal. So those colors you can get straight out of camera, and I got it configured so I can use my dial to change them. If you want to get straight out of camera JPEG. Now, something interesting that you can do with the Ace Pro 2 now is you have the possibility to change the lens, which is very interesting. Ultra wide fisheye lens adapter that basically turns your field of view into 189 degrees, which is, that's nuts. With 189 degrees, you're basically looking backwards. So the camera was already wide, but with that lens adapter, you can go even wider. Let me just show you the lens here. That's the lens right here. I'm gonna show you a couple of images with it. I'm gonna put it right now. And it's interesting because you get this ultra wide image. If the camera's 13mm full frame equivalent wasn't enough for you, and now that should be enough. And you also have this other kind of macro lens, they call it, which has the ability or capability to change focus from a close distance to a further distance. Apparently some people were trying to vlog with it and not even their arm's length were enough to get you in focus. You would have to be further back. So now with this lens you can change that, and you can also get some close-up photos, which is interesting, I guess. This comes with focus peaking, which are basically little red lines that surround whatever is in your image, telling you what's in focus and what's not in focus. I guess it's nice that you can focus closer, but it's kind of gimmicky. The focus peaking I'm speaking about. But I like the fact that they came up with these lenses. I mean, interesting. Fuji has some lens adapters or converters for the X106, X105 too. You had a wide one and a telephoto-ish one that would turn your basically 35mm equivalent into a 50mm equivalent lens. I'll leave that out there for you guys, Insta360. So that's what the camera looks with the fisheye ultra wide lens. It's kind of big, but I guess it has to be in order to make it a 189 field of view camera. Wow, that's a lot. I guess by adding lenses and a grip and a shutter and a bigger battery, you're feeling more like you have a camera. Maybe that's what all the fuss is about. But no, that's how it looks with the lens. Holy wide angle, would you look at that? I don't know if you guys can see it, but that's extremely wide. Look, you can even see my fingers here. You see? If I'm not careful about it, my fingers will be in the photo. Oh, I mean, here. That's great. Okay, let's take a photo here. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's get a vertical one. I like verticals and horizontals. Wow, that's extreme. Look, my finger again on the top. I don't know. Yeah, crazy. That is super wide. So this is kind of like what the macro close focus lens looks on the camera. Not as big as the ultra wide, extremely fisheye lens. And as you can see, there's like a knob here that I can turn to focus in and out. I'm gonna try and take some close-up images to see how close I can get, and I'm gonna try and show you guys the focus peaking if I can get close enough to the camera. We'll see about that. Like if I go close to the plant, I don't know if you can see the plants or everything have like a red outline. That's the focus peaking. That's supposed to be everything that's in focus. Wait, the screen's dying. But if I focus on the buildings in the back, they also have the red outline, which also means they're in focus. So if that building all the way over there is in focus, and this flower all the way here is in focus, and I have the knob turned to close focus, then I don't know that the focus peaking is accurate, or I don't know if the lens is even working, because it's not supposed to focus this here and that over there if this has the ability to focus and defocus. You know what I mean? That's throwing me off. Everything has a red outline from the focus peaking, so I don't know if the focus peaking is not working or if the lens is the one that's not working. We'll see in the results. Okay, so what are my conclusions about the Ace Pro 2 with this Explorer Grip Pro? Am I gonna keep it? Yeah, I'm gonna keep it. I like it. I don't hate this camera. It feels like a nice toy, and that's the important thing that I take from the situation, at least for me. It's a toy. It's still an action camera, but it just has a different body. It's like if you get my Hyundai, for instance, and you make it look like a Porsche, and you can even change the seats a little bit, but in the end, it will never drive like a Porsche. Porsche, I don't know. It's the same situation here. It is an action camera, but with a different grip. That will not change the function of the camera. It just looks and feels a little different, but the results it gives you are the exact same thing as my Hyundai with a Porsche exterior. So that's my take on the subject. I don't think this is an amazing street photography camera. It's fun to use every now and then. But like I said before, if I was thinking about doing some nice and serious street photography walkabout, this wouldn't be the first camera that I think about. Would I have it in my pocket? Maybe. I might take an extra lens instead of the camera, but who knows? I'm kind of weird with that, and I love getting more gear, so yeah, this is a keeper. Anyways, thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to follow Aftershoot and all of our social media to be always up to date with the latest we have to offer. See you all in the next one. Bye.